All right, guys, we're back. Today we are talking about an issue within the American Revolution itself. And it's not real concrete, but it's something that I feel like we need to know about. One of the things that we're going to see is that the colonists, like any group of people, right, were not all of one mind when it came to British military rule, right, versus independence. Saying that all the colonists were for independence is just false, and it's we tend to oversimplify history by doing that, right? You're never going to find an entire group of people that think one way about any issue. We tend to maybe take demographics and go, well, the white community or the black community or the elderly, they feel this way. And while that may be true in general, it's never true in its entirety, right? And so that's what we're kind of taking a look at. This was never an us being the American colonist or the British colonist, right? Versus them being the British from Great Britain, from England. It was never that way, right? Instead, we need to take a look at the demographics and the population and the beliefs here in the colonies. So the first thing that is that for the population here in the British colonies, 1/3 of the colonists were what we would call loyalists. They were loyal to the crown. They sought reconciliation. They believed that we were wrong for all of the rebellious activity that we were taking care, that we were participating in. They often worked with the British. They opposed things like the Tea Party. They opposed the Sons of Liberty. That's who the loyalists were. They felt like they might even be rewarded for their loyalty. And so 1/3, that's a lot of the population. We don't have an enormous population here, right? We've got a lot of land, we've got a lot of ground and resources, but we don't have an enormous population. And of our population, a full 1/3 of it were really supportive of the other side. That's going to be problematic. Now, the next thing that we see is that 1/3 of the colonists were patriots, right? So we're really kind of split in 2/3. 1/3 that are loyalists, 1/3 that are patriots. The patriots are those that are willing to fight. They're willing to sacrifice. They're willing to die for the cause of independence. Now, that's, again, splitting things pretty finely. We're not fighting with all of our population as one unified voice. We're fighting with only 1/3 of our population. If you were willing to join the militias, if you were willing to join the Continental Army, then you were clearly in that camp, right? You were one of the patriots. But there's a third group here, and it's also pretty important. The other third, right? We've got 1/3 that are patriots, 1/3 that are loyalists. The other third were just scared. They were quiet. They were unwilling to commit to either side. Now, that third may very well have been on the side of independence. They may have wanted independence. In fact, I like to believe that they probably were, but they were terrified of open support. They were terrified of lifting their voices and joining with the other side. They didn't want to fight and they didn't want to show support either through finances or material possessions, sharing of resources with the patriots because they were afraid. What do you think they thought the likelihood of success was? Right? I mean, they're fighting Great Britain, the largest empire the world had ever seen. They're fighting Great Britain, the most well-trained military that the world had ever seen. They're fighting Great Britain, the most technologically advanced army that the world has ever seen. And so do they think that, even 2/3 of the population, if they were all unified, do they think that they have a chance at winning? My guess is probably not. And so it's not that they weren't with the Patriots in heart, but they were terrified of mind. And because of that, they were not willing to openly support that. You see, here's the thing about this group. If the Patriots win and we gain our independence, they celebrate and they say, we were with you all the time. We've always supported independence. We've always known that we could rule ourselves and that we needed democracy here in this country. But if Great Britain wins, they go, we were with you all the time. We never supported the rabble. We never supported them. And so either way, this 1/3 of people who are scared and quiet and kind of meek of nature, they're going to come out okay because they'll simply claim to have been on the side that wins. What that means is that the patriots right, that wanted independence, they're having to fight this enormously large, powerful, well-funded, well-trained, and technologically advanced army without a full consensus of the people. They're fighting it with only about 1/3 of their people who are willing to support them and join the military. That is extremely limiting. And when you add to that the fact that there's another third, there's another group equal to them that are willing to maybe join and fight for the other side, that are willing to inform on troop positions and who is supporting and who is funding and financing it, and who are willing to spy on where the rebel encampments are and the direction that they're heading and trying to find out those plans. Man, how do you fight a war when 1/3 of your own people may actively be spies for the other side? How do you fight a war when 1/3 of your people are all that are willing to actively support a war? It makes what happened in that war all the more impressive. But it's important to understand the demographic makeup of that time. So guys, I hope that you learned something. I hope that this impressed upon you just how significant the American victory in the Revolution was. Go ahead and subscribe, if you will, to my channel. It gives me an easier time to push out new content to you. And go ahead and watch some of the other videos that we've posted. We'll catch up with you next time. Thanks for watching.